Greetings, everyone. This is Joanna from Heavenly Radiance and Universal Love Light. Just trying to get all these lights. Thing about the corners is they're not that bright. So funny. Oh my gosh. All the symbolisms. Too funny. Where we meet in the middle, create greater light. That's too funny. The universe is always working with us, isn't it? Today we wanted to talk about how funny is joy. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, team. Oh, beautiful. Joy and happiness. And so how does, oh my gosh. Oh, too funny. I haven't even had my bergamot yet. Too funny. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, too funny. Thank you, team. The universe is making me laugh. What we want to focus. Oh, too funny. You think no one's here, but there is. There's a whole universe. The whole universe is living through me right now. What's going on? Okay. Back to, we're going to talk about happiness and joy. Doesn't help that oh my gosh. Oh, too funny. There. It's bergamot. I haven't had any bergamot yet. Anyways, bergamot is an essential oil that is used for amping up joy factor. Today. Oh, too funny. You know, as soon as I pressed record, something just happened. Oh, too funny. So today we're going to talk about joy, and joy, work that is source. That's totally source. Moving through a huge transition, letting go of what no longer serves. Again, in the crucible of who we are with Source Creator, knowing that as creative children of joy, that's what we're meant to live as, this sacred, beautiful essence of co-creative bliss and co-creative joy. And isn't that what we should all be focusing on right now? And allowing us to see these juxtapositions and these duality and polarities that are constantly in harmonization with us, constantly playing with us. You know, this morning I was, my two cats, they don't get along, and I'm absolutely positive that it's just because of the transitions that I've been moving through the past year. It's been so intense. And the residual of the energies that are being worked out and smoothed out and being brought up to higher frequencies. And they're constantly in flux as we are. And so, those little juxtapositions of, the space and the, creating that 5D space, and really from the purity of my soul, I ache for inner peace. I ache for that inner joy with Source that I know so purely and so profoundly. And so what they were showing me this morning is what I've been showing myself, really. And my teams are, constantly with me, allowing me to see these lessons in a bigger perspective so that I can honor it and teach it and offer it however I may. And then coming here and, trying to fix at the lights and, where's the dark and the light and how I can get the right. And then as soon as I press play, I break out in this joyful experience that, that's what it's really all about. As much as I can, do all of the work and do all of the processing, and ever since coming here, since a child, I've always been, we have words and definitions, but it's only what we have. So eager to either get it right or seek that way through the veil and the threads and the forests of density, if you will. But just to know that as hard as you think you may work, or as hard as you think it might have been, it's really about just honoring that place where you just drop into the center of your heart and it's all joy. So to let go, there will be those moments in the aspirant's path, like we talked about yesterday about detachment. there will always be these tests in the soul's journey to allow you to understand that where we held fear with so much, how easy it was to let go, which has been my path recently, the last 3 months, is truly letting go of those remnants of fear, to release all restriction and just be joyful. That was the message they gave me just as I put down my book. Release all restrictions and be joy. Be the vibration of joy. You will always be with source in that vibration, serving the greater good, serving your soul's path, allowing those divine wisdoms of energy to come through you and live through you in the infinite number of ways that it can. And it doesn't matter how we try and make things correct and right and, whatever. It is what it is. I'm just going to go with it. And that source, just what I found came profoundly to me last night. And it's done this often. And I know this about myself because part of my life's and soul's lesson is just to relax into joy and just receive. That is the divine feminine, just receive. So I'm moving into this transition of releasing the divine male energies of all that I've worked so very hard for over many eons. I know that everything that I am right now is from eons of work of being a light worker. And obviously all the realms that were not light worker that I'm learning from and bringing forth and calling as my own and honoring it. But part of that joy, to live in that joy factor, to live in that vibration of joy, that vibration of happiness, is to honor all the threading and the weaving in and out, which allows that soul to grow. If there wasn't that friction, if there wasn't that dissonance, if there wasn't that discordance, there would be no that freedom to simply allow and receive that joy, to simply be. The joy is all that we've been. The love is all that we've been always. We don't have to seek source outside of us. It is. So as we allow the source within us to be that, to say that I'm source, source is with me all times. There's never separation. In the last 3 days, it's been truly allowing the joy to live through me. The joy is hard felt if you have to think that you have to force joy or to call joy in. Just allow it. It's you. And that comes from, that just space of, just relax and allow it to be. There's, you've done all the hard work. You've done all of the movement and back and forth. It's not to say that there won't be lessons. There will. But I see a direct difference in who I am now as to the person that was, striving so hard to create and to do and to manifest. Because I knew that's what I was here for. I was here to, break through the density of limitation and the beliefs and the thought forms and the social norms. And, we all feel like that, that we're just breaking through to say, what, I know that that's the will and the intent. There is always light. But it's not what you're seeking out there, it's within here. And oftentimes it's just letting go and allowing it to come through. And that's where we're at now. The light quotient that we have within us. Many teachers and many those that will be on the front gates, if you will, helping others and coming forward with new healing modalities, coming forward with new social modalities and social systems to co-create. Those of us that will be at the forefront are at that level now where it's just a matter of being that open vessel of what you know yourself to be and just allowing this, source to be. That's that surrender of spirit and soul. Calling your soul forward and say, I completely surrender. It doesn't matter what's going to happen today. Things will unfold the way they unfold. I really want to be in joy with it. I don't want to have to call joy in to force it. And so my throat is already clearing. See, my body's in my energy zone field already knowing what to do. And that spirit living through you, doesn't have to be all perfect because you are. Too funny. And so joy, that's the vibration of, what, this morning I woke up and I was feeling this, because of everything that I've been through, there's these profound moments of, I'm not sure if I know what flow and joyful fluid energies are like. I've had them in the moments of intense oneness with source and meditation, but in everyday life, have I really known that? Because the spirituality has always been something separate because of who we've had to mask ourselves to be. But now that we're at this beautiful surrender and suspension point, all of humanity, all of our collective. The light workers are knowing that there's no more in between, there's no more spiritual space and real space. It's all one. And this is how those of us that are light workers, teachers, healers, bringing everything to the forefront and being at 100% of our moment for moment life. There is no separation anymore. And it's needed, really, really needed. So yesterday I was thinking, I had that quiet moment with my teams, and I just broke into tears, and I'm just thinking, do I know how to feel that that sense of utter joyful suspension in my oneness with source, because it's been so clouded with energies playing, ping pong, in my field and in my energies. And that, because of the lessons that I've had to learn and play and honor and step up into a teaching position so that you can sense what's going on in the fields and with others and around others and the collective. Those are things I've had to move through, along with my own soul lessons. Not only healing and clearing for the collective, but last night it was just like, I don't know how else to be. It was that ping pong of striving to seek the light and striving to feel the light and striving to harmonize and alchemically shift for light. Do I know how to just surrender and soften and just be joy? There are moments of it, but can I live that in a full-time, me as a vessel? So that's my now lesson. I've done the work. I know I have. I can say it and I can own it. And I don't say that with hubris at all. I know energy well enough to not feel those frequencies. And those that know me and know my offerings understand that. But there is that level of, you can be joy now. You can be. You've earned it. You can be joy. There's no more hard karmic lessons to learn, unless you call them in, which I don't. Clearly I don't. And so that's why, everything that we've taught is allowing you to understand the subtle fields, how we create through judgments, through the inner healing work that we do. Understanding your multidimensional bodies is so key to those subtle co-creations. So as you're aware of it, then in all those moments that those things and those energies and those frequencies come up, you can allow yourself to know what I walk as my light. My light clears my space. My light is always within the integrity of joy and love and unconditional benevolence to the all. And you're practicing that. Then you get those moments of, this is just my joyful moment now. This is who I am now. And that's where, those, what many of the collective are feeling, and we wrote an article, again, thank you, Mario, for posting that, is the suspension of where the world is at right now, allowing the collective to see, well, how can we create that is in a more joyful experience, to honor that we are all vessels of light. And we can, if we choose, to really surrender and let go of all of those dissonant stretching of the vine and the energy frequencies of disharmony of who we've always been. Because remember, everybody in our collective is a reflection of who we are as our oneness. So those frustrations, those irritants, those judgments, any of those energies create. And that's why you get those pings of energy in your field that are, that are those, I call them teasing and taunts about, is this where you really want to be? No, clear my field, I'm pure light. We're all love. I'm moving in this way. So this is where you get out of that back and forth energy to say, this is who I truly am now. I'm moving in this direction. All is source. Don't damn it. Don't frustrate it. Don't get irritated and create those even more denser energies of push and pull, because they will create, and you will feel them and sense them when your fields get turned on, or the energies in the house. They'll co-create. Banging into chairs and things like that, whatever it might be in your house. And I always, this is a good indication for those that so desire. There's, without a doubt, every single time there's energies that are being released and let go and healed, there will be images and pictures of my in the house that will be a bit off center and a bit crooked. And that's my teams and the universe and the energy showing me that, okay, well, let's concentrate our energies here. And those are just the subtle energies that allow you to see what can be cleared and cleansed. Release yourself from that Um, and those are all about fears and controls, at the level, the foundational level. Am I in control of my space? Am I in control of my body? Am I being controlled? That's them and us kind of thing. And this is where it's complete releasing of all of these energies. Soak within your joy. Just say, everything is as it is. The ego cannot control any outcome at this point. It just can't. Surrender it. Right now, the importance for each and every one of us is to soak within our heart space, to trust that our soul's plan is coming to fruition, to release the densities, to heal the densities, as the magician and the master steps that we've all taken in that flow back and forth of who we truly are. We wouldn't be where we are in that full, unconditional, unlimited, limitless source of joy if we didn't go through those frictions to show us. I learned from that subtle energy frequency experience. I learned from it so much. And you can feel it on the peripheral, but now your core vibration is just sharing and just bathing and soaking. It's like a tsunami of light and love and joy. And it's full allowance. It's that divine feminine. It is the divine feminine washing over us in every way. It's the divine mother washing over every one of us, giving us an emotional and a mental healing at our core level. And in the emotional mental healing, the physical body, the etheric body, and all else will be cleared and cleansed and brought anew. And those are the transmutational energies that I specifically am fitting in, and probably many other light workers that are going to be the forefront of healing and teaching, and new systems, co-creations, and things like that. Because it's the divine mother that allows us to be that Christ collective, that Christ, the way the Christ was, walking as, nothing will, nothing shook the frequency of unconditional love and faith and joy. The frequency of pure love is joy. That's why the creator is the creator. The first stories and the first birthing of creation was for the joy of co-creating and experiencing and expressing joy, love. So if we hold those vibrations, what is my joy to create? What is my joy to express who I am? What is my joy to experience me? So if we're holding those vibrations as our core, you could press record and boom, everything, you're in it. It's simultaneous. It's just been a profound, and sometimes these integrations and the processing that I've often talked about through self-care, you get these epiphanies, in the moments that you need them, when you need them. Oftentimes it's not when you're in your journal writing them. It'll be throughout your day when you're sharing, because that is part of the ingenious and the divinity of being in our joy. Because when we're in our joy, we're sharing who we are as an authentic soul being. And in that authentic sharing, the epiphanies and the awakenings and the wisdoms just come to you, because that's the gift of sharing. It's all a divine system. It's not that we have to work anything out and create, these intricate booklets of what's going on. Perhaps for some they need it because they're visual learners, or they're auditory or perceptual learners, or intellectuals. There is always going to be those assets and those learning tools, and there's no judgment about them at all. What we're saying is that there is an innate system of evolution within what we do as joy. That's the lesson of our offering today. There is the innate system of benevolent and beautiful, joyful, divine, and heavenly co-creative systems within our expression, within our exploration, within our experience of who we are. Being in joy of who we are, being in love with who we are, honoring who we are. And that allows the ego to say, wow, if you really know what you're doing, I'm going to really sit back now, because the ego's exhausted. The ego cannot manage. It just doesn't have the capabilities, and never have, and it never will. And that's okay. Its tool is to help us in the manifestation, to bring things to us as far as, okay, well, what do I need to create that house? Well, you're going to need the foundation people, so here's people to call. That's the ego doing, looking through the book, looking through websites. That's the ego. The ego will help you with that. The ego is not the one to say, from that highest perspective of the spirit and the soul that lives through you as source creator, to say that, well, there's a collective of light beings here, there's a collective of sound healings here, there's all of these collectives that are threaded with you. The soul lives through here to say, just be joy and share it. You got people coming in all over the place. Like we said this morning, we think that the room is quite empty, but absolutely it's not. There's an infinite number of beings that are surrounding our cosmic and personal space that we can call in and just be who we are and just say, oh, I'm asking for some beautiful divine angels of sound and tone. It's my expression and my joy to call in. I'm working with source and being with source. I want to work with sound and tone today. And in that divine intention, the energies are there. It's simultaneous. That's the innate system. We don't have to wait for it. That time is an illusion on the physical ego perspective, because it thinks it has to make things happen in appropriate time to be safe and secure. So it's really about that surrender into, when I'm innately being who I am at an authentic soul level, when you're connected with source, say, source, I'm living at my soul. Remember what we said the other day. When you're aligned with source, it's that alchemy that shifts your entire reality, and it's whole body, whole mind, whole heart and spirit and soul. That's wholeness, that's with source. Nothing in your peripheral will get in the way of that joy unfolding and that joy being co-created. And you learn the lessons peripherally and they'll come to you, when you need them. That's how we're entering into a frequency of reality changing. The reality timeline has just shifted. When you're seeing the elegance and the benevolence and the threading of the infinite and the threading of purity, um, and when you're moving through those moments of releasing the transmuting the frequencies, because it's a new perspective of heart space living. So that's really what we wanted to say, which we've never said before. And so right now, I'll give you an experience. There's something happening in my peripheral, which I'm not the only one that can adjust and change the outcome of that experience, because there's other people involved and there's other frequencies involved, but I can send that my light. And so I can choose to detach from this now moment and focus on that, and just absolutely trust that my teams and the universe are sending the highest benevolent energies to that experience and to that situation, so that they all are served in a benevolent fashion. But then there's other people involved and there's other energies involved, and because of what we're moving through as a collective, there are energies that are coming in to kind of pull on you to create that detachment from your pureness, your purity, your oneness to co-create in new space and new timelines. So that will always be a test that people will move through, especially when their subtle fields turn on. The ego, the shadow or inner child, however we want to define those experiences. There are also outside sources, because we're a collective of infinite beings and spaces and time, and so just to be aware of how you're being pulled, and in what way are you giving that attention to that. As a master, it's about owning your purity of wholeness and joy, to know that all things will work out in the highest benevolent manner. That is your intention. My intention is the highest benevolent frequency. I now detach from that and allow the universe to take that over and assist in the highest benevolent manner. Oftentimes, the more attention you put on it, the more bottled up it gets, because the universe knows what it's doing. Their souls teams knows what they're doing. The universe higher council teams know what's going on, and just to let that be and move on with your co-creation of whatever you're excited to. That's how focusing on joy and happiness is so important right now. And that's also knowing that my teams have told me so many times, and I'm giving you this experience because being in the vibration of joy and happiness is really the foundation of what's needed for humanity right now. Not focusing so much on healing and focusing on what was. Offer it your highest integrity, offer it your highest benevolence. Create now. My highest potential right now is to create. What is my soul mission to create? And then call this now moment in. Where is my soul needed in this moment to help the collective? Because those are the fields and the consciousness templates that what was is moving into. And it needs to be created. It needs our attention. It needs our sound. It needs our healing. It needs our color. It needs our vibrations. It needs our fun. It needs our joy. And so, And not that it's linear, because it's not, it's now. However, if we're always over here, if you will, sending so much, like trying to heal what is cannot unfold. And that's the difference. Where is your focus? Where is your vibration? Is it on what was, or is it in the now creative? And so that's where the joy and the happiness vibration really come into play, because that joy and that happiness creates. That's how we create, is through that joy vibration. So allow yourself to just be aware of, where is your focus and your attention? Is it on trying to heal things that have already unfolded? Or is it in this now moment? Where is all of my joy and excitement guiding me to? Where is my soul guiding me to? And you might just see a paintbrush, you might just see, music or whatever, because it will always be creative. Right now, we're in a really creative portal, where, timelines and space and energies and codes, are really calling all of us into activation, activation in a joyful way, not activation as, like a few weeks ago, I had these energies. We've got to set these systems up, and all of these things that I know have to be done, and at a collective level, let's do this. But that's the ego, managing and wanting to make sure everything happens overnight. No, you know, if I was the manager of the whole world, and kind of thing. But that's not how. That's another lesson I'm here to learn, is to allow things to unfold in its dynamic perfection of spirit. It makes good for business management. Get her done, get her done, get her done. But this is a new world experience, a new dynamic heaven upon earth, and it is surrendering in the spirit. And for many light workers, especially those of us that come with really, Aries type of, energies, get her done. We're here to do this work. But that's part of the role too, to know that don't give up. No matter how hard it gets. That's why I have the Aries. I have an Aries moon, and my Aries moon, the moon is the divine feminine. That's the healing all of those emotional pains and wounds and karmic stories. You require that Aries power. You require that no matter what. I will seek that light, and I don't, whatever it takes. I will go through whatever it takes, because I know there is God, there is source, there is creator, there is spirit in all things, and I know it. I know these awakenings, and everything will just flow in this beautiful experience of joy and laughter, and I can bring all of my worldly and shamanistic, what I'm saying, all of these energies from all over the universe that I am allowing to live through me joyfully, and so today is a beautiful representation of just flowing in joy, just bringing more joy to the whole new earth. That is how it must, we, as a collective, the belly of our collective energy is, it's time for us to be joyful, time for us to be of love for who we are. That's the collective energy. We've sent out so many collective calls to the universe, and the universe has called and answered the number of angelic beings that are with us and helping us, and the codes and everything that we're being given and offered through Gaia, through the universe, through God, our bodies, everything. Again, like I said, it's an intimate design of benevolence. And it works when we're following our joy and in line with that. And so if there's any vibration that a light worker can focus on, have it be joy, and happiness and love, and creating it, expressing it through your creative gifts, because that's what's really needed for our own soul's experience. Yes, there will be the collective needs, and that's why we're here as souls. Obviously, we get that. But it is for the experience that the soul really needs, and that's what my team wanted me to bring forward. It's so important. As source creator, we've come here with these many frequencies of joy to serve, to help create, and to help improve, and to help, honor and bless. But the grandest, most profound reason that is fundamental from the heavens to a human collective moving through such transition, and the planetary collective, the nature collective, the elemental collective, all things, the fundamental and foundational gift is that we enjoy and we love who we are. That's it's not about As somebody said the other day, it's not about fixing something that's broken. It's about honoring the pleasure of being human. It's about honoring the joy of being human. It's about honoring your oneness with Source. Source is with you. You just have to drop to your chest and honor that. Source, you're with me. I'm with you. Let's do this. And you can just feel that the joy that Source is giving me. Even when I said that, I just felt like all the bubbles in me. That's my Source bubbles. It's connecting with inner, outer. It gets it. My environment gets when I'm one. It's when my ego says, okay, well, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. That's when you feel that separation, because Source is just saying, you can be happy all the time if you want. I'm right here. When are you going to start honoring that? When are you going to start knowing that as your truth? Joy is your truth, as your name is. And so it's a real vibrational shift, and that's the alchemy of the mastery, that you're allowing yourself to be absolutely in free flowing surrender of spirit. Releasing the fears that you've got to watch out, somebody's watching and somebody's going to get you, and all those kind of things and I absolutely have those energies that I've healed, because of the timelines I've experienced. I can feel them, I can know them, I can sense them, and that's why I can put names and energies and teachings to these experiences. I get it. I get the human experience. I get the human dynamic of healing the emotional body, of how important it is to heal and honor the psyche, and how it's come to assist us in our mastery. That psyche template is all that we are as spirit, to heal it through joy, to heal it through love, so that you understand that there is nothing to fear, because there is only love. It's the illusions that we've created through separation that have brought us those definitions and the words that we've made to think that there are things outside of us. That's not it. It's the illusion. We create it all. That's consciousness. That's why the subtle field and those subtle energies and vibrations really matter to the co-creation of your experience. And so why not have these thoughts and affirmations and new entrainment that are positive and joyful and loving? And so that's joy. That's the joy factor. Joy is the vibration of all life. It just is. It's because that's Source. Source, the very first vibrations of incarnation, if we know it. And it's probably beyond what we're explaining, but we're just giving this as an example. The Source creator of all that is, all galaxies, all universes, the joy to explore, the joy to evolve, the joy to express itself and experience itself had to be individuated from something. And that's where that birthing of that creation, there's so much joy and love just to experience myself as something else. That's why we see everybody before us. My joy is to experience this earthly journey as a universal omnipresent being, is so that I can see all aspects of me. I can honor it. You might not have to agree with it or want to slip into it or be okay with it, but why not honor it? Because it's all you, just as Source is all us. We are all Source. It's that breaking off of, I want to experience all that I can, because it's just such a joy to experience me as all things, as all beings. And so that's where those ideas and understandings of, well, we can be in joy with it if we choose to be. We have great potential, and we have rich blessings of co-creativity as Source. So let's begin to enjoy and co-create from that space of joy and happiness, and joy and happiness as we are. We always been. It doesn't have to be, putting goals and making plans and intentions around it. It's okay that we do, but as we're moving into this mastery stage, speaking on my own behalf and other light workers, it's really about allowing that joy just to unfold in everything that you're excited to do, and it's in the moment, in the moment, in the moment, in the moment, in the moment. It's living as Source, and those are the egoic letting go. Sending your highest intentions, your highest love and benevolence to all that is not within your control to fix or change, especially if there's others involved. As we said yesterday about healing the discordancies in relationships and things that appear to be on your control. We don't need to have to control it. Just send your light. Do what you can as far as allowing your soul to feel imbalance of pure, integrous love of all beings, love of all people, and release what you sense you're feeling, because again, those are just the energies and the smoothing and the fanning out of where energies are feeling most comfortable. And so just know there will be those discomfort periods of when the wrinkles get smoothed out. Um, because it's just all energies trying to find their place. You know, we're in a beautiful field of omnipresence. So your core vibration, how you choose to set it, you know, and honoring those moments where you feel you need that healing. You know, I need to be recognized for my joy. I'm recognizing my joy. I can laugh and I can just be joyful today, no matter what comes up. I focus on my joy. You know, I'm not here to change everything. I'm not here to fix anything. I'm here to be joyful being me. I'm here to experience life in every way through me. And I want to be joyful about it. And in that, I will receive abundance. I will receive love. I will receive my soul tribe. I will receive whatever it is that I need. Because that joy, again, as we said, there is an intricate design of benevolence within that joy. It's a vibration. It'll pull into it what it needs through you. Your soul is sending out, this is my joyful expression of me. What did I come here to express? When your soul at the highest levels before you incarnate, it's all now, but we're just saying if we look at it linear, when you chose to be birthed, if you will, you know, your soul, your oversoul, your oversoul, your oversoul, oversoul, and your teams of angels, when you say, okay, what is this timeline going to be about? What is my lifetime going to be about? What is my body going to look like? What is my parents, my grandparent, you choose everything at every level. Make no mistake about it. The soul says, it's not going to say, looking at it from the ego perspective is only the codes that we come with within our psyche conscious template, the template that we come with from our psyche to say, okay, these are 4, 5, 6 lifetimes that are going to be healed through the karmic experience of persecution. So those psyche codes in the template of who you are, consciousness of who you are, will be coded, and this will be worked on through your 50 years, let's just say, because I'm just giving my own experience. I will be 51. So in 50 years, these will be the persecutory energies within your psyche template. These will be the abandonment issues within your psyche template. There could be 6 timelines attached to that at varying levels. Again, it's all layers of threads of experience. Some are more profound than others, less, not less. And there's always, again, multidimensional lessons threaded within each, because we're multidimensional beings, we're the all. And that all is attached to all of those that you come with. The overriding soul core of those blueprints is the joy of expression of you. Yes, there's healing in this particular lifetime, because of where we sit with a collective and a planetary body. It will not always be like this. You know, when the 5th dimension, it will be more about exploring and expanding. It always is. There's always because even in your healing, you cannot heal unless you're exploring and expanding. It's all one. Again, it's that infinity. Just a matter of what perspective you're looking at it from. You know, up here, down there, again, what view and perspective are you perceiving any one moment from? But ultimately, the soul's desire of what the soul comes forward for is, how can I express myself as joyfully as I can? You know, how do I get to be happy being me? How do I feel being happy being me? How do I feel my sourceness? How do I be my oneness? How do I be my joyfulness? And that's the foundational core, you know, that's in the belly. My will is to express and co-create. That's how we each evolve as source beings. So if we're stifling it, and this is where the healing comes in. Again, if you're, I'll give you some examples that I've had, growing up in environments that seemed to be, again, it's all perspective, that seem to be stifling creative expression, that seem to be stifling psychic expression, that seem to be stifling, you know, out of this world energies or understandings or wisdoms when they're not understanding. So all of these are energy experiences within the psyche template that we overcome and we heal, we transcend. But there's still those healings, if you will, as we've just discussed, those healings that we're leaving from and we're transmuting from are that core soul joy. How can I express myself fully as source? How can I experience myself fully as source? How can I explore myself fully as source? All that we're healing is that. And so mastery allows you to see, wow, I can just let go and just be me. You know, I don't have to have a course outline. And if anybody wants it, well, perhaps this isn't the class. Too funny. And so we wanted to bring in this on our joy we wanted to just bring forward a couple of immune enhancers, getting that immune system back up so you can feel more joyful in your body and more joyful. And so we obviously know garlic. Garlic is a great immune ambassador. I remember when I was in my 20s and I was working out, crazy. I would actually eat and take raw garlic, in my smoothies. And rooibos is, I usually get some rooibos in my smoothies as well. Asparagus is really good. And again, echinacea, gold seal, and licorice root. Those are good herbs. And so grab yourself, I got this at the local chapters, Indigo, for $8. And they're great. You can just throw an herb in, whatever it is your teams are guiding you to. Patchouli, I've got some essential oils and patchouli as well. But one of my favorite that I've been using for 2 years now is bergamot. It's one of my favorite essential oils. And I just wear it as perfume sometimes, depending. And what it does is it's through the sensory systems, especially for kids too. Kids really, from my experience, kids have really received immediate help in smell essential oils. And then I just put some on my. And so some oils you can use on your body and some you can't. So just make sure that you're aware of, the what you can and feel. I mean, for me, I just use my intuition. So far, it served me. I know that I have other lifetimes as not only alchemist but herbalist and tonic creating of medicines and things like that. And it will be an absolute passion of mine. But bergamot is one of those essential oils, along with orange citrus, just for really bringing in those energies to reorganize the structure within the body and the fields of joy and releasing anxiety and tension. And so citrus, grapefruit, and bergamot. I use bergamot. I just love the smell of it. It just feels so good. And also, I have bergamot. You can get a double bergamot tea as well. So tomorrow I'm going to do a show on my teas. I have these great teas that I use. And so, and joy, one of my favorite joys, and those that have known our offerings, is sound and tone. And sound and tone, from what the angels of sound and tone have offered me, is a great way for us to immediately and dynamically not only express who we are and explore who we are through sound, because that was, from what I understand to be Source's dynamic song to us, is through sound. And through the sound waves, we are all vibrations of sound. We are all vibrations of alchemy of sound and matter and spirit. And so sound is used. I have many offerings on both of our YouTube channels, the Universal Love Light and the Heavenly Radiance Shamanic Tarot, of sound. There's a beautiful I Love You ASMR recording that I did that you can just put it on a loop and just play I love you, I love you, I love you. Just beautiful sounds of vibrational Christed intent from the soul of who I am as an alchemist with sound. I call in the various energies and the beings that are with me. And as soon as I call forward ancient and sacred, beautiful sounds, I can feel the energies already with me. And that's Gaia, the co-creative energy, source creator. And that's just that alchemy of beautiful co-creative sound. And why it's really important is we've just discussed about the beautiful alchemic shift that can be felt subtly when you're in complete allowance of the soul. The soul as all that you are, allowing that energy to live through you, and using that full alchemic movement, the fluidic movement of who you are. And it can be felt through sound, and that movement can be felt through sound. And that sound carries through the collective consciousness and the intentions to help shift and move, and working with the universal energies that we are all working in co-creation with in our higher states of consciousness. yesterday or the day before, I don't, it just doesn't matter because it's all now. um, there was, there was just flips. I get these little flashes of moments where I can see myself on light ships and other co-creative councils and, all of these other experiences where I'm all now. And so this morning, part of the experience was to feel yourself as the universal all now and be okay with the vibrational interplay of all things that are playing out, but remain at your core center as joy and love. And so this, as mastery and light workers and healers will, as soon as their subtle bodies turn on and they're working with the subtle fields, they can really honor those universal experiences through which all is playing out, and our fluidic evolutionary allowance is to be joy and love in our co-creations. Where I've just come from is to having to stop, place time on it, place energy on it, try to fix it, try to heal it, and get pulled out of this now moment. So that's why I'm explaining it. This morning, it absolutely felt as if this big universal, I was feeling this raising of vibrational beingness. It's not an understanding, it's a beingness, where in which I was feeling all of the, because we are sacred geometry, we're this sacred geometry, that all of the particles and threads that I'm attached to is really reliant upon this now fluidic source. And so it's not so much to get pulled out and fix it. It's, there will be those times, yes, but why we're saying it. It's just to allow that joyful core. And the more that we do, all else gets fixed and arranged, and all of those energies that are being placed, because it's an energetic placement right now. Everything is moving into new vibrational threads. So to be your truth of integrity, I am one with source. I wish the benevolence for all people, all beings, all kind. And I'm here to live in my joy so that I can ensure that my joy is spread throughout all of creation, because we are moving into our universality. And it's really important that those moment for moment now, I'm on the source, just let source flow. Mm-hmm. And that's why sound is really a part of that, because as you open into your surrender with source, your surrender into joy, those sounds move into those vibrational fields and those vibrational templates that really need it, the collective that really needs it, the new herbs that will be used for healing and medicinal energies really need it. Everything is created from the sound vibration at any level. Love is sound and sound is love, and light is sound. And so it's about us using that free-flowing, allowance, opening up and just creating, your alignment with source, and just allowing that sound to come forward. And that's part of my sacred joy, is that sound. What I've been seeing lately is Bob Marley. And Bob Marley was really known. He was a maverick and a master for unifying through sound, through his song. Understanding what was happening on the social level, and then bringing those collaborations of sound and music together to unify and to bring harmony and joy. And so that's, part of my soul's plan and soul's desire to live, is as I co-create and express these sacred energies of sound and movement and wisdoms and authentic truth, because it's a universal authentic truth. We are love. How can we express, explore, and experience love in all the ways that we can? The healing will come from those soul experiences and those soul expressions and those soul explorations. And it's just that, as I said, if you get anything from this video today, anything that we're moving through is because of these three core desires of evolution, that is benevolence and love and light. How can we express and explore and experience all that we are? You might have painting one day and singing the next day and teaching the next day, whatever it might be, but follow your godliness in that flow of the universal divine feminine. Allow, because those energies and those codes that will come in can't come in if you're thinking you've got to plan and organize and do. There has to be that allowance of flow, and that's joy. That's the beauty of Source Creator, is to allow yourself to move in that way. And so what I wanted to do is I just wanted to open up into, I'm just going to move that back a bit so that we can see. so we can see the fields. And I'm just going to, maybe if I stand up, that will help. Sorry. Just trying to see if I can get, I'm going to kick my perfect lighting system. And so when I'm working with the sound, it's that solar plexus and all of the chakras lined up, opening into that pillar of light, calling in the universal energies and universal teams and the beings that are all with us all times, and Gaia working beneath the feet and calling in the energies. And so part of my my excitement is to work with the energies of Gaia, calling in the energies of Gaia using sound and tone, and then moving it through my field, moving it through the house, creating those consciousness fields, calling from without and then calling it. And it's just that really gentle, loving movement of co-creation of sound and movement and energy, of sound and movement and energy, sound and movement and energy. And that core vibration that we set, we're calling in the highest frequencies of light and love through Gaia, nourishing our body, the elements of Gaia nourishing us, calling in the highest frequencies of love light to come from our soul star chakra, down through the pillar of light, nurturing and creating those energies of clearing and cleansing in our fields. And we call and we open our divine sacred heart, our oneness with Gaia, our oneness with our human collective. So remember that sacred trinity. You are sown with Gaia, collective ascension. You're sown with the human ascension collective, and you're sown with the universal and your own unique individual ascension plan and program. And so all of those will always be through your expression, your exploration, and your experience of source creator joy. So if you have that burning excitement, just to start singing, and then those are your sound codes that are being activated through your DNA and through all that you are. Your teams are activating you, your soul is activating you, your higher self is activating you, to just get up and start moving within the frequencies of sound very gently and very fluidically. You can be sitting too as well. I'm just showing you the God consciousness fields and how working within these fields, co-creating in sound through clearing and cleansing, setting the vibrational intention for your space. This is a playful space of sacred sound and tone. And we're offering these sounds and tones to the collective. We're offering these sounds and tones to the Gaia ascension frequency and all of the beautiful crystalline grids that we're moving with sacred sound and sacred play. And through the Holy Mother, Father, the Source Creator, the Spirit of all that is, the Holy Spirits, for humanity, for the benevolence of humanity, all the benevolent light programs. From our beautiful sacred hearts, from our beautiful sacred souls, we're allowing all that we are to flow in joy and happiness and co-creation into the space, into the grids. Flowing it down into the grids. Beautiful intention of joy and happiness, joy and happiness, joy and happiness, joy. And you're reaching up to the codes, calling them in. And from your divine sacred heart, your divine sacred energies of exploration, experience, and expression of who you choose to be. Joyful miracles. Honoring the sacred self through sound and through tone. Thank you, dear little one. So that just gives you an idea of how we work with sacred sound and movement through sound and tone. And that's fun. That's joy. And so know that you're getting your inspirations, you're getting your joys and excitements through your dreams. You know, like I said, I've been seeing Bob Marley. Thank you, Bob. In my meditations for a while, and just moving throughout my day. I've got a Bob Marley record on my counter, and the other day I had one of my old jazz records that was out, and then for some reason Bob Marley just popped out front. I didn't put it there. So that's the universe and your surroundings and your environment, because it's your soul's puts together everything every day. You don't look around your home and just pay attention to those little synchronistic symbols that just poke you in that direction of, things are different today. Are you going to pay attention? Are you going to, open up to your joyful exploration with source, and intend it too, before you go to sleep at night, just say, okay, team in source, let's play in my dreams. I really want to play and co-create. I really want to feel joyful about who I am and where I'm supposed to create and how I can express all my gifts being me. I really want to be happy being me and feel myself in joy. It has been such a long and challenging, path for me over many, many lifetimes. There's been joyful paths and tremendous paths as well. But right now, it's really about surrendering into the joy and really feeling the exaltation of who you are. And exaltation is about that sacred bliss and just honoring you. Really be honoring and joyful of you, and just let the little stuff go. Just release it to the universe and say, I'm not sure how to handle this. I just want to be joyful. And then just allow. It's really about allowance. And make joy and love be your prevailing, frequency, and express yourself. And the bells outside are ringing. Thank you. So synchronous. I'm telling you, everything is it's a beautiful song. And so thank you, dear ones. And to end off, we're just going to do clearing, calling in joy for all of you. Your unconditional love, dear lighted ones, from the Holy Mother. Namaste, amen. Be joyful, laugh, giggle. Don't forget to dance.